What's up, everyone? This is the Next Tape Podcast, episode 214 with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So today's episode, we're going to be doing a special topic episode. So we're going to be doing 3 topics or more on this episode. And yeah. Would you like to start, Tanyka, or
Yeah.
what do you?
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna say what the topics are.
Okay, go
We've
ahead.
been out of the loop for this for a
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So regular 3-topic episode. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about microplastics and
Mm-hmm.
how they can rewire male sperm.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that. What happens to your blood sugar when you take melatonin? And 50 cabin communities for the unfocused in Durham Region. So I think something to do with the probably the unhoused or something like that. That's what we're gonna be doing. And I also have a bonus as well.
Yeah, plus more. Yep. That's what we're gonna be doing. All right. Let's get to work.
Okay. So researchers at the University of California, Riverside, have reported for the first time that a father's exposure to microplastics can lead to metabolic problems in his offspring, which totally, totally true. Same thing can happen with women, but let's put the focus on men this time. Let's do
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So using mouse models, the team
Mhm.
uncovered a previously unrecognized way in which environmental pollution may influence the health of future generations. Although microplastics have already been identified in human reproductive tissues, this particular study, published in the Journal of the Endocrine Society, is the first to directly connect paternal exposure to microplastics with long-term health effects in the next generation. So microplastics are extremely small plastic fragments measuring less than 5 millimeters that form as consumer products and industrial materials break down. So that's what
Mhm.
microplastics are.
Right.
Metabolic disorders describe a group of conditions that include elevated blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess body fat, all of which raise the risk of heart disease and diabetes.
Mm.
To uncover metabolic effects in F1 offspring, so I think that's like your direct offspring,
Yeah.
the researchers placed them on a high-fat diet.
Mhm.
This strategy helps expose the impacts of paternal microplastic exposure that might otherwise be subtle
Yeah.
under standard dietary conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
The high-fat diet reflects common unhealthy eating patterns such as the Western diet and increases metabolic stress. Because the fathers consumed a normal diet, the obesity observed in the offspring was driven by diet rather than inherited eating behavior.
Mm.
Moving on to female offspring have actually showed heightened vulnerability. So the team found that female offspring of male mice exposed to microplastics were
Mhm.
far more prone to metabolic disorders. I want to say that again.
Y
So I just want to repeat that because this hits so hard for me. I'll explain
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
But the team found that female offspring
Mhm.
of male mice exposed to microplastics were far more prone to metabolic disorders than offspring of unexposed fathers, even though all offspring received the same high-fat diet.
Wow. I'm getting to learn about, like, microplastics, 'cause I
Yeah.
saw another sorry, no, sorry, my bad. Another podcast where,
No, we
like,
can talk about
about
other podcasts. It's fine.
yeah, I just don't know, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, it's
Uh
okay.
uh that it's really not good for you. Even,
Yeah.
like, water bottles do have it, like,
Mhm.
has microplastics.
Mhm.
Even, like, the plastic containers that you get from the Chinese food place, and
Yep.
you warm it up in the microwave, that's
Yep.
not healthy for you.
No.
Uh, so, like, yeah, basically,
Yeah.
even the plastic containers when you put in the fridge, that's not healthy for you either.
Well, you can store I mean, here's the thing, and this is
Yeah,
something, like, again, I've done a lot of research on this,
yeah,
um, with me obviously trying to get pregnant. Um,
mhm, mhm,
and so for any women, or not even just women, but men as well, 'cause I think it's also very important because there is a chapter in this particular book for men. But it's called It Starts with the Egg. I've probably mentioned it before. And there is a chapter about, you know, toxins and being
mhm,
exposed to certain toxins. Now, you're never going to not be exposed to toxins in this environment.
yeah,
You're exposed to toxins in your home, you're
mhm,
exposed to toxins outside, you're
yeah,
exposed to toxins in the workplace.
mhm,
You're never not going to be exposed to toxins. It's more about, like, how to minimize that in
mhm,
the soaps you use, in the
mhm,
cleaners you use,
mhm,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Now, when it comes to microplastics, again, we're all like, again, back in the day of the 90s and the early aughts, like,
mm,
we didn't fully understand everything that we understand now, right?
exactly.
We would warm our stuff in plastic and think that it's okay.
Yeah,
Um, and, you would use plastic bottles and stuff like that and think that it's
yeah,
okay,
yep,
but we've learned that it's
mhm,
not. Now, am I
mhm,
guilty of still sometimes warming my food in plastic containers? Yes, due to
yes,
the convenience.
yeah,
But I also am aware of
mhm,
what I'm doing to my body, though, in
mhm,
that process. This is
yeah,
why we have glass containers, glass bottles,
yes, yes,
stainless steel bottles,
yes,
things that are not plastic.
yeah,
Like, I don't use plastic water bottles. Like, right now, I have my little, Contigo
mhm,
water right here with me. I use a straw, which I probably is plastic, but the bottle itself isn't.
uh-huh,
And, you know, try to use glass containers as much as possible and stuff like that,
mhm,
but,
mhm,
you
mhm,
know, it is never going to fully eliminate, but every little bit helps.
yeah,
Um, and this is
yeah,
again why I guess I'll say it now, why I repeated that one particular sentence, um, is because in society with children,
mhm,
it always goes back to, "Oh, what did the mother not do? What did she do?" It always goes back to, "What did the woman do?"
mhm,
Never, "What did both do?" Or maybe it's a male thing, not so
mhm,
much female.
mhm,
So, um, that is something that we constantly hear, right? So
yeah,
to hear, like, this particular article, which we'll finish, is talking about the male aspect of how things can affect an offspring,
right,
and microplastics is one of those things.
mhm,
What I deal with PCOS is considered, um, what do they refer to it as? Make
mhm,
sure I'm getting the right term here. Um, yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find the right term so I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah,
the
yeah,
wrong
so
thing.
there's
Um, yeah,
like
it's a
yeah,
metabolic disorder.
okay,
So that's what I deal with PCOS. It's a metabolic
yeah,
disorder. Now,
yeah,
there is the whole thing of, if a woman has PCOS, 9 times out of 10, it is coming down from someone else, usually the female parent.
uh-huh,
So in my case, I'm pretty sure my mom does have PCOS, even though she hasn't gone through the proper testing to see if she does, because at the
mhm,
time when that was coming up for her, she was like, "Oh, I'm done having kids anyways."
right,
Whereas I'm trying to educate her and say, "Well, PCOS is more than just reproductive.
mhm,
It's, as just said, it's metabolic."
mhm,
And who knows if my grandmother had it? She could have. My
mhm,
grandmother had Uh, that have definitely dealt with stuff in the reproductive side of things, that maybe it could have been. Who knows? But then when I look at another situation where the fact that my sister also has
Mhm.
PCOS. My sister is my half sister. She is my father's daughter. So how does that work? Is it
Mhm.
that her mother
Mhm.
had PCOS? Who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe she does.
Mhm.
But I've never heard her speak on certain things when it comes to her mother.
Right.
So that's kind of always come down to, well, is there a common denominator with our father? Maybe there was,
Yeah.
unbeknownst to him, but maybe there was.
Mm.
You know, and yeah, go ahead.
I never we were never, like, taught about, like, micro, plastics. It wasn't really, like, taught in the family.
Not really.
My father didn't know about it, and my mom didn't know too much
No,
about it, but she had a lot of plastic containers in it in the cupboard, like,
of
it's
course,
like stacked in there, right?
of
So she
course.
didn't know too much about it. Uh, but I was always, for water bottles too, I was always told that the water bottles was always cleaner than the tap water. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, for years, people have been telling me that, friends, etc., that the water bottle is cleaner. And then let alone do some research that the tap water is cleaner than the water bottles. So I'm like, so what is it?
Well, that's
Is it
exactly the
yeah,
thing is
yeah,
it's not so much about well, the issue that I think with going and picking up water bottles, like, in a store,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
is
yeah,
you're dealing with what they're putting in the water because 'cause they're
mhm,
putting sodium in the water.
yeah,
What's the point of that, right? You can
mhm,
avoid extra sodium in your drinking water,
mhm,
right? So, um, what I always was kind of told, and I actually had that kind of a similar conversation, in high school, not high school, grade 7,
mhm,
where the teacher that I had in grade 7 for science
yeah,
was basically saying like, "Oh, everyone uses like a Brita filter, whereas like
mhm,
tap water is already filtered." True, the water is filtered.
yeah,
That is true. However, you're still also getting chlorine because there's chlorine in the water. You're getting other things in order to help keep the water clean for, purposes. I don't know about you, but I would rather not have extra toxins that is in the water to keep it clean. I'd rather not have that in my body. So
mm,
maybe tap water is perfectly fine. I'm not saying that I haven't drank tap water every once in a while. Um, but predominantly I drink filtered water.
mhm,
I've always had filtered water at my grandparents, here in my home, you know, at my boyfriend, at our
mhm,
place, there
mhm.
is a Brita filter there as well. And it's I don't know, it just feels like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't drink
yeah.
bottled water.
Yeah,
Um,
they're saying tap water is generally the superior choice, which is, yeah,
it's
so
hard for me to even, like, wrap my mind around, like,
yeah,
drinking tap water.
and it's good for your teeth, they're saying as well.
I heard but you wanna know why?
Mhm,
It's because I don't know if there's fluoride in the water.
mhm,
I know there's chlorine, because sometimes you can get a waft of that chlorine in the water.
mhm,
You get a
mhm,
waft of it sometimes.
mhm, mhm,
I'm not sure if there's fluoride. There might be. I'm gonna actually check that. I'm
yeah,
curious, but I think I
mhm,
heard there might be fluoride in the water, and if so, that's why. But
and
again,
yeah,
when we would get
yeah,
fluoride
yeah,
as, like, kids, we didn't swallow the fluoride.
mhm,
It would just go on our teeth, and
mhm,
then we'd rinse our mouth out. We wouldn't swallow.
mm,
Like, it actually we were told not safe to swallow the fluoride.
mm,
So, is there
that just
fluoride in Ontario water? Yes. Ontario has fluoride in its tap water. About 74% of Ontario residents have access to municipally fluoridated or fluoridated water. So
Mhm.
municipalities like Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton, Windsor, and the GTA supplement their drinking water with fluoride to meet an optimal target of 0.7 milligrams per liter.
Mm. Hmm.
So
Uh, I don't know.
again,
I
that's
mean,
the
I
thing.
drink
It's like
I just drink whatever water.
it's not. I don't think it's a lot where it could be lethal.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know if consuming fluoride is necessarily lethal, but
Mhm,
I've always just been told, like, I just remember as a child when they would put
yeah.
the fluoride on your teeth that, like,
Mhm,
you weren't supposed to swallow.
mhm,
Just like toothpaste, you're not
mhm.
supposed to
Oh,
swallow
yeah, that I
toothpaste.
don't yeah, definitely not
There's
toothpaste.
fluoride in toothpaste.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we
Mhm,
were told that.
mhm, mhm.
So why would I wanna drink water that has fluoride in it?
I don't know.
And I'm not saying that the Brita is, like, 100%. It's not gonna take everything out. Of
Mm,
course not. It's not
mhm,
that powerful, but,
mhm, mhm,
it could take most of it out,
mhm,
you know, that I'm not, like, drinking, like, literal toxins. Like, you're not supposed to swallow chlorine. I know this from experience.
mhm, mhm.
You'll get sick. Take it from me. I
Yeah.
have swallowed chlorine water a couple different times, not on purpose, as a child, and I got sick. Like, I literally threw up the first time anyways. I threw up the first time.
Mm.
The second time I didn't, but the first time, yeah, I threw up. Like,
You mean
why would I wanna put that on my body,
mm,
you know?
you mean you drank tap water before or you
No.
drink
Well, I've drank tap water, yeah. But no, this was
you
I was at a pool party of
yeah,
a
okay, I
girl that
see.
I was yeah, and I mean, again, that is way more chlorine in that
Yeah, yeah.
pool versus our drinking water. But again, if you drink enough, like, how much is too much is my
Mhm,
question.
mhm, mhm,
So, but again, why would I wanna take that chance? And again,
mhm,
as a
mhm,
person who does deal with a metabolic disorder already and is also trying to conceive, I'll stick to my Brita water just to be on the safe side, personally.
mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, whatever, I haven't died yet, so it is what it
no,
is.
no, but,
Yeah, so,
that was our conversation on water. Let's go back
yeah.
to microplastics.
Yeah, 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 go ahead.
Um, so the exact reasons for this sex specific effect are still unclear. So that's again about
Mhm,
the
mhm, mhm.
fathers and their female daughters.
Right.
Um, and this is said by Chang Cheng Zhu, who is a professor of biomedical sciences in the UCR School of Medicine and the lead author of this particular study. Quote, in our study, female offspring developed diabetic phenotypes. Hmm, hmm. We observed upregulation of pro-inflammatory and pro-diabetic genes in their livers,
Mhm,
genes previously linked to diabetes. These changes were not seen in male offspring. Sounds a little like PCOS, in my honest opinion, but hey, because again,
mhm.
we deal with
Yeah.
diabetic phenotypes. I mean, I guess I'm saying they're phenotypes, but PCOS mimics diabetes.
Mm,
So I guess it's like a phenotype.
right.
And inflammation,
Mhm,
something that
mhm.
again, inflammation can happen in any situation, not just PCOS.
Right,
I'm linking it to that, but for my
right.
own mental purposes, where I'm just like,
Mhm.
huh, things that just make you say, huh, that's off. Um, The research team found that while male offspring did not develop diabetes, they showed a slight yet significant decrease in fat mass.
Mhm.
Female offspring showed decreased muscle mass alongside increased diabetes. So, sperm RNA carries environmental signals. So, to understand how the trait was passed down, the researchers used a specialized sequencing technology called Pandora S or Seq or SEC, developed at UCR. They found that microplastics exposure alters the cargo, quote unquote, of the
Mhm.
sperm, affecting small molecules that regulate how genes are turned on and off.
Mm, interesting.
Very. The microplastics exposure significantly altered the sperm's small RNA profile, including tRNA derived small RNAs and RNA derived small RNAs. None of this makes sense to me at the moment.
Yeah.
Types of small non-coding RNAs. Unlike DNA, which provides the blueprint, quote
Mhm.
unquote, for
Mhm.
life, these RNA molecules may act like dimmer switches for genes,
Mhm. Mhm.
controlling how much or how little a gene is exposed during development. Quote, to our knowledge, ours is the first study to show that paternal exposure to microplastics can affect sperm's small non-coding RNA profiles and induce metabolic disorders in offspring.
Mm.
So implications beyond individual exposure. So Zhao emphasized that the study suggests the impact of plastic pollution is not limited to the individual exposed. It may leave a biological imprint that predisposes children to chronic diseases.
Mm.
Quote, our discovery opens a new frontier in environmental health, shifting the focus toward how both parents' environments contribute to the health of their children.
Mhm.
These findings from a mouse study likely have implications for humans. Men planning to have children should consider reducing their exposure to harmful substances like microplastics to protect both their health and that of their future children because a child, the embryo
Yeah.
is half the egg, half the sperm.
Mhm.
What you bring in, and I've had this conversation with my boyfriend too, because of my opinion, the things that he puts in his body that he has
Mhm.
control over.
Mhm.
You bring that in to your child's life through your sperm,
Mhm.
through the DNA. There are certain things you can't control,
Right.
like medical health history. For
Mhm.
example, I'm bringing diabetes in. I'm bringing in my PCOS. I'm
Yeah.
bringing in, things that I
So
don't have
yeah.
control over.
Yeah. Anxiety,
Right.
mental health, etc. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
God, my poor children are gonna be dealing with mental health issues because
Mhm.
that stuff goes way back in my family history,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
dealing with it on, their potential father's side as well.
Yeah.
So there's
Sometimes you can prevent that, can you? Like,
I don't
if you
it's predisposed in the sense
Mhm.
where there's there's a possibility that it can happen.
Yeah.
So, like, if you like, obviously, I won't
If
go
you
into,
go
like,
Yeah.
who,
Yeah.
but if you look at my family history on
Yeah, yeah.
my mother's father's side,
Mhm.
we're dealing with schizophrenia,
Mhm.
we're dealing with, you know, panic
Mhm.
attacks, anxiety,
Mhm.
chronic clinical depression.
Yeah.
We're dealing with many different things on the
Mhm.
mental health side of things
Mhm.
on my family.
Yeah.
And then for him too, like, he deals with his own stuff. I don't know about
Right.
the family history,
Yeah.
but the family history isn't the only thing. If you're dealing with it yourself, like,
Yeah.
that is something that is already predisposed.
Right.
Addicted personality, that is something you're bringing in, and
Yeah.
that's something that's already in your genetic, so you're gonna be
Yeah.
bringing that in.
So
So
what
that Go ahead.
what if the child grows up and, do certain, like, changes to their life, like, certain, like, more healthy habits than,
Um,
like, past generation, previous families?
um, I think every person is capable
Mhm.
of not falling into the same
Yeah.
stuff that their parents were dealing with,
Yeah.
but I am also a believer that there's also the possibility that something like it can happen when it's out of your control. It's because
Mhm.
again, I would say, like, I dealt with things, but I never would have considered myself an anxious person.
Mhm,
Um, it's very possible that things were building up over time in my life,
mhm.
but I can look back at the time where the anxiety hit me, or at
Right.
least the cuppeth overflowed,
Mhm,
okay,
mhm.
of with anxiety, and that's something that, again, I'm predisposed to because of
Right.
my family history,
Mhm,
and then not only that, but my mom.
mhm.
So, you know, unfortunately,
Right.
I was predisposed and I was hyper aware of that. I didn't necessarily make it be my identity, not at
Mhm.
all, but I was always fully aware of what I could be dealing with
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
physical health sense and
Yeah.
also on the
Mhm.
mental health sense.
Yeah, cause my dad used to, like, have headaches, and
Yeah.
I get headaches as well, but, like, I think that my headaches stopped because I started, like, eating watching how I eat a little more and
Yeah.
etcetera, and then he does smoke too, so, like, I
And I
never
think that's
carried that
another
trait.
thing.
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
never
say,
carried that trait as well, so, like,
yeah.
it's yeah, so
And again, that's the other thing too. Like and I worry about it for my future children
yeah.
that I don't particularly consider myself having an addicted personality,
Mhm.
but I look at their father and who will be their father, and he does
Yeah,
have
yeah.
an addictive
Yeah,
personality.
yeah.
And you could have one child that will never partake in those things because
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
see what their father has gone through or their
Mhm.
mother has gone through or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
But then
Mhm.
you have the ones that will fall into that.
Right.
Like you have control over what you do,
Mhm.
but it's because you see what other people go through that you
Mhm.
try to not have it happen because
Right.
you realize there is that predisposition that it could happen.
Mhm. Yep,
So,
yep.
I'm always hyper aware, like with my PCOS, I'm always hyper aware
Mhm.
that I'm so close to being diabetic, even though my blood sugars are under control for the most part or
Mhm.
whatever, right?
Mhm.
But I'm always hyper aware of it because I deal with a very lengthy family history of
Mhm.
diabetes. My grandma, my grandpa, my
Right,
uncle, my
right.
aunt, my mom, all these people deal with it. I'm always
Mhm.
so afraid, and I've always dealt with this through life.
Oh,
I'm always afraid that I'm going to have um, I'm going to get diabetes while pregnant and gestational diabetes, and it's not going to go away. Like
mhm.
that's always my fear.
Mhm.
And it's because I have that predisposition of everyone in my family has diabetes. I
Mhm.
worry about MS. It's not I worried about it for myself, but I'm not as worried about it for myself now, but
Right,
who
right.
knows? But I worry about it for my children because
Mhm.
it appears to
Mhm.
skip a generation
Right.
based on what my dad has told me.
Mhm.
So I worry about that for my kids because I see
Yeah.
what it's doing to my father.
Mhm.
I don't want
Mhm.
that to happen to my children.
Right.
So, you
Yeah.
know, those are things that
True,
you
true.
can't fully control because
Yeah.
MS does it is genetic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is genetic because you can't there's some kids who can't come out of that depending on how, how, you know, teachers
I
from the
could be a
parents.
carrier and not know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And those are things that, like, when
yeah.
you are planning to have children, those are
Mhm.
conversations you have to have.
Yep,
Like, you have to talk about those things.
yep.
Um, I mean, I pretty much understand, like, my boyfriend's, like, he's, for crazy enough, for the most part, pretty healthy.
Mhm,
I know we've talked a little bit about, like, the family history.
mhm, mhm,
But, like, again, with my ex, like, when we were talking about those things, he told me, you
mhm,
know, "I am a carrier of this." I'll just say it's fine. He told me, like, he didn't have sickle cell, but
mhm,
he was a carrier of sickle cell
mhm.
because one of his parents, I believe his dad had was a carrier himself. So, basically,
Right,
like, how sickle cell works is, like,
right.
if you are a carrier because
Mhm,
a parent had it,
mhm.
you could either A, pass it down to your children
Mhm.
if the other parent, like, so parent A is a carrier, but parent B doesn't have it, then
Mhm.
you're carrying it down to your children.
Mhm.
If both parents, A and B, have sickle cell, your child is gonna also have sickle cell.
Mhm.
That's how it works. Um, so when he told me this, I'm like, Well, what the
Mm.
heck?" Like, hadn't heard of it at the time. This was, like, Jesus, what, 12 years ago? We had this conversation. I hadn't heard about it before, and I literally had to go to my dad and be like, "So he was telling me about this,"
Uh,
and my dad's like, "Don't worry, you don't have sickle cell." But that means, though, that my children would become a carrier because he is.
mm.
So those are things, like, you have to talk about.
Right.
Him being a carrier, it still affected him,
Mhm.
but he didn't have sickle cell, but due to him being a carrier, he dealt with health because of it.
Mm.
But those are conversations, like, you can't just go out there all willy-nilly having children and not knowing what you're bringing to the table for your child.
True. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but okay, back to the article.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so where was I here? So yeah, these findings from mouse study likely have implications for humans. Men planning to have. Okay, I think we said that part. The research team hopes the findings will guide future investigation into how microplastics and even smaller nanoplastics affect human development. Quote, "For future studies will likely look at whether maternal exposure produces similar risks and how these metabolic changes might be mitigated." I'm just going to say, just based off of what I've read and just common sense and common knowledge, yes, there is going to be an exposure to an offspring on both ends, both both parents.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because again, as I've mentioned, it starts with the egg book. It starts with the egg and it starts with the sperm. It's both. So when you bring those things together, that's you're bringing all of the nonsense too. There's no way around it. Unfortunately. Well, that's
Mhm.
not true. You
Mhm.
can fix certain things. Um, but
Right.
if you are planning to have a child and, you don't know much or you're starting from basics and, It Starts with the Egg is a great book. Um, you can either buy it or it's also available as an audiobook. I
Yeah.
listen to it on Spotify, for free because I have the premium, but,
Yeah.
it's a really good book.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Anywho's, that's that.
Okay. So I have some.
Okay.
Uh, Sony, you have done it again.
Oh, no. What are they doing?
Finally done it again.
Oh god.
So, we have talked about something like this like a few months ago. Um, Physical media, right?
Mhm.
Um, so Sony's PlayStation division. So as of January 28, sorry, 2028 for new games releasing on the PlayStation, physical discs will be ending completely.
Hmm.
So,
I mean, I'm not surprised.
yeah. Yeah, it's but there was always the option that you could just basically have, uh, to be open for the consumer, right? So,
Mm,
basically, digital and then, physical, right? Understand that, like, over the last, like, I would say roughly 10 years, it was always it was physical. Physical was like, I would say, sorry, 10 to 15 years. It was like physical was like on edge, uh, basically. So at the time, I would say it was around like 90%. People were just going physical 90%, and then 13% were like digital. By the time between, I think this where it shifted during the pandemic. is where it
Yeah.
kinda completely shifted. Like, it was shifting, like, during the years, like, it was growing, like, from, like, 2013 during the PS4 era, and, and then 2020, it was shifting, but where the pandemic, it kinda made it shift even more. So, as I'm seeing reports, where it's leaning towards more people buying digital than less people buying physical now. So it's like 80%. As I'm reading the charts right now, it's like 80 something percent people are buying digital, and then 15% of people are still buying physical disc. So there's an article based on what's PlayStation. So the consumers preference and bro- broader entertainment industry continues to shift away from physical disc to digital. Physical disc production for all games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting in January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. See, the only bothers me. And it also bothers a lot of people. And I'm gonna probably read a little bit of comments after this article. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in this format. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends, as the general preference for digital media outpaces physical disc. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefer to access and play games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in our players can access games, provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether that's at retailers or PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans. We thank you for your continued support. And there's been a huge backlash. Huge backlash. You didn't think that it's gonna be that 15% of oh shoot. That 15% of people were basically going to come lashing out. But yeah, there's the comment section on this PlayStation blog is really, 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 really uh so here's one. Uh Terrible news. Rest in peace, game collecting. Uh we literally own nothing. So basically, before this announcement, they got rid of 551 DVDs in the digital store. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I'm with you in the sense of if I'm gonna spend a lot of money on a console, I feel like if I'm going to spend all this money on a console, which again,
Yeah.
we all know PS5s, for example, are very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like again, the games are expensive as well,
Uh-huh.
but assuming, because I'm pretty sure I know this from, conversations with my brother, assuming the pricing is the pricing, I
Yeah.
want a physical disc.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I don't like mind the digital, but there needs to be an option. Like, you need to give the consumer like more of an option. Don't give them just digital. Plus, PlayStation doesn't have a great refund policy. They don't have a refund policy at all. right?
Okay.
In terms of
There's a
digital.
digital.
So
Yeah.
once it's gone out of your library. So they couldn't have the rights to move it. That gives control to the corporations, which doesn't feel right with me at all. I also told my friend RJ about this. He wasn't happy. He was sad. Like he was very sad about this. Like I have never I've never seen him this sad before, right? Uh it was unbelievable hearing him hear that news. He thought it was fake, right? And then what tipped off the news too is that, you know what GTA 6, right?
No.
GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto
Oh,
6,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
right? They're not doing physical. They're doing physical, but what they're doing is basically giving you a case, then putting the piece of paper with a code in it. No disk at all.
Okay. What's the point
Yes,
then?
that's what I'm saying. And that was the outrage. I thought what they're gonna be doing is that later on, because games are easy to be leaked, and this is the biggest game of the year, right?
Yeah.
They don't want it to leak early, etc. That's what a lot of people thought. That's what I thought too. But I'm thinking what's happening is I think Sony kind of tipped off Rockstar and probably told them that we're no longer doing a physical. You can go ahead and if you want to do physical, that's up to you. If you wanted to go only digital, we can do that too. And basically, I think Rockstar kind of like decided to just go to Rockstar is some company that like makes games for Grand Theft Auto. Uh, basically went on and just went full digital and just basically announced that there won't be a disc for it. And I thought there was going to be a disc like 2 months ahead after the release and every single thing, but there's no news. So basically, this confirms that physical discs are no longer going to be a thing after 2028. So that's very concerning. And yeah, the backlash doesn't go from the blog. It went from the blog to Twitter to even celebrities talking about it, which is even crazy. Uh, saying that and then people voicing their displeasure. It's so bad that you know that PlayStation has not tweeted in the last few days. That's how bad it is.
Mm.
That's how bad the backlash is. And normally they do tweet or say something. No, they haven't said anything. So I don't know if they're going to either walk back on it. There are reports. I don't know how true this is that they're retraining uh they're getting rid of some like this in their factories and retraining their basically their employees on another project in those factories. Not sure how true that is. That might be a rumor. Uh, but yeah, it's it's crazy. I like I don't even know. I don't even know what to do.
I
Right?
mean,
I
here's
don't
my
know what to
thing.
do. Yeah.
Us as a human race, I hate change,
Yeah.
but you said it earlier. The
Mhm.
sales show that more people are buying digital copies.
Yeah.
As much as I agree with you, because of, we're old, we're used to physical things,
Mhm.
it's not worthwhile to them to produce discs for these games
Mhm.
if they're not selling them. So as much as the outrage is, let's face it, it's
Mhm.
only the 20% that are raging over it. And that's not worth it to them still.
I
Like the
feel it.
20% are gonna be mad, but guess what? The
Yeah.
20%,
Yeah.
once the switch actually happens
Mhm.
officially, you have no other choice. You're going to adapt because you have no choice but to adapt.
And
Um,
that's
because the thing is that Sony isn't going to backtrack on what they've said because yes, I agree. COVID really did push probably people buying digital copies of games versus physical. Like many other things in the world, COVID really pushed things into a different place
mhm,
because it showed we don't need to do things the way it used to be.
mhm,
So because of that, and obviously not much has changed in that, we see it with like the GameStop or EB Games, whatever we call it now. We
mhm,
see that with those stores closing and going like
yeah,
those locations closing down because no one's going and buying physical games anymore.
yeah,
So, you know, that shows
yeah.
there's nothing in it for Sony to backtrack and go back to doing physical games.
And I mean, like, I feel like you should still cater to that 20% until it goes
No,
way down,
no. It's
in my
one
opinion.
thing if it's like
It's
60-40 or 70-30. 80%, that's a huge percent.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
You may not know about that, but you have to think of it from a business
I
perspective.
I
If
understand.
you are in a similar situation,
Uh-huh.
you're putting in funds, money, whatever, the overhead to create these physical games,
Mhm,
going through that process of making them,
mhm,
shipping them, distributing them among all of
mhm.
these different places, and it's not worthwhile to you anymore. W- Why would you continue to spend the money on that? That would be
I don't know.
not a good business idea. And when
I
you're dealing with, again, like
mhm,
any other company,
mhm.
Sony has a board of members. If
Oh,
those
no,
board
I
of
know that I
members
know
are
that.
coming and
Yeah,
saying, "This isn't worthwhile to us anymore," guess what? I apologize to the 20%. It's not gonna change because
and
it's
that's
not
the
worth it to them to do it. Again, I agree with you
yeah,
that physical copies should be there because
yeah.
that is what we're used to. Our generation is used to that.
Oh, no, I mean, I believe that there should always be an option. Always be an option.
But
There still be an option
unless it is
there.
worth it to them for there to always be an option,
Mhm.
then they're not going to make it that way.
Yeah.
Because guess
There's
what? The 20% that are complaining, there's the 80% that is making this a reality. That screams louder. And I don't know if it's only the 20% that's complaining. I'm sure there's part of the 80% that's also complaining.
yeah,
I'm sure there's
yeah.
part of the
There
20% that
there is.
aren't complaining.
Yeah,
But the thing is to the 80%, if any of you are complaining about this, you're the problem. You're the reason why it's happening. So you're basically telling the company, we don't need those physical copies anymore.
it's
We're
true.
good with the digital.
Yeah,
So
well,
they're catering to the majority. I
I would
I don't I again, as a
yeah.
person who I don't play video games, but I've
Yeah,
purchased
yeah, yeah.
video games, I am of the belief of buying physical copies.
Mhm.
That is what my brain tells me to do.
Yeah,
But then let me tell you which generation is the ones that are responsible. It's the Gen Zs. Because my brother was like, why buy a physical copy for? I could just buy this digitally.
right.
So that's the problem is the generation who was playing those video games
Mhm,
back when those physical copies were available,
mhm.
it's maybe either A, not enough of them anymore, or B, they've switched over and done digital as well, and they're
Yeah,
comfortable doing it
yeah.
alongside the new generation that are doing it and buying their own
Mhm,
games or whatever.
mhm.
These games are not cheap. The game
Oh,
itself
oh,
is
yeah.
close to,
Oh,
well,
I
over $100 with tax in
I
Canada.
listen
It's
listen,
not worth it to them, you know?
listen, yeah, the games are not cheap, and they're not cheap to make either. They're not they're
No,
very
no, they're
expensive,
gonna
like,
be more.
very like
then
behind the scenes, like the creators who create the games, these games are expensive. So the Grand
yeah,
Theft Auto game that's coming out, it's over $1 billion in budget.
yeah,
$1 billion, right?
yeah,
Previous games like Spider-Man 2, 300 million, etc. These games are not cheap. So you kind of
no,
understand the pricing in a
and
way,
that's the
but
thing.
and people just don't. There's a lot of people just don't understand. I understand the pricing, but there's other people who just don't understand. There's people that are saying like basically, oh, it shouldn't be 79.99 or 89.99. I'm like,
Yeah, but
I
that's
think
always been the standard, that it's roughly $90
yeah.
before taxes for a PS5 game.
Well, American has it cheaper, but that's
It's
because of
rough, but it's roughly the
conversion
same
rate.
price. It
Yeah,
is the same price,
conversion rate.
right? It
Uh,
it is the exact same price. It's just
yeah,
the conversion.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, like,
yeah,
yeah, it's 80, $90 for
yeah.
purchase,
Hmm.
but that $90 game that you're purchasing
Hmm.
could have cost hundreds of dollars to produce that disc. If you're not going and purchasing those discs, where's the benefit? If they're still making their bank and
Hmm.
it's actually cheaper, because let's face it, it is cheaper for them to make these digital games available.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you not do that?
Mhm.
That makes sense business wise.
I also do think Sony does not want to do or produce any discs for Grand Theft Auto 6 because it's going to be a, s- a lot in
It's
demand.
going to be a
eh,
lot,
In
exactly.
demand. So like that's
Again,
probably, but
yeah. This
still. Oh my
Again,
god.
I'm not
The
a
cut.
person
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
plays GTA. I've
Yeah.
watched you play GTA,
Yeah.
and I've watched other people play GTA.
Yeah.
And what it, even I know
Hmm.
this game is anticipated.
Hmm.
And we've talked about it on the podcast already.
Yeah.
And this game is huge.
Yeah.
So imagine the amounts of money, like
Hmm.
the money going into creating the game at its
Hmm.
foundation
Hmm.
is a lot.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna add production pricing
Us. Yeah.
for just to create the discs on
Yeah.
top of the production to create the game.
Yeah. They say that.
It's a lot.
Yeah. They say it costs us $6.50 to create the disc, etc. Put it in a disc, and etc. I don't know how much
Okay.
the case costs, but you
Well,
can
it's probably more than
Google.
650, but um it's okay, so that's not crazy, but then
Mhm.
you also have to factor in the cost to then distribute those games. There's a cost for that
And
too.
then the terrorists on top of
Then
that,
there's the
etc.
tariffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that and then and a lot of people are thinking it's because of the administration as well. There's some people who are thinking that, and then there's some people who just be like, yeah, that's not
Potentially.
that doesn't have nothing to do with it. Which
Um, I don't know so much about the immigration. Who knows though? But I don't think so much immigration, but the tariffs 100%.
mhm.
That, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
no matter where, like it's because like, where is Sony headquarters? Are they in the States?
Their Sony's headquarters is in California.
In California.
So yeah,
So yeah, again, they're not gonna get taxed within their country, but they are gonna get taxed outside of
District.
their country.
Yes, their
And
district.
we
Yeah,
have obviously done our retaliated tariffs in this country. I
yeah,
don't think they're all stand because, whatever. But
yeah, yeah.
there is going to be taxes and that. And at the end of
Mhm,
the day, companies within the states have been affected by decisions from the top.
mhm.
Top meaning the
Yeah,
president.
yeah.
So
That administration.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just so many mom and pop shops are going to be closing down in the future because of this, possibly. And then
yeah.
GameStop is going to be only selling like Funko Pops in the store.
And again, like how many
Collectibles,
people are going out and buying Funko Pops
not
that
too,
would enough to keep that location afloat?
yeah,
Not that much.
yeah,
And I know they've done like other things too, like they've done
mhm,
like these specialty like
yeah,
Monopoly games and stuff like that and whatever. But again, like they're not the only ones. Not like it's only them. Like if
mhm,
you go into like, a calendar club, like when they pop up during
mhm,
Christmas,
mhm,
they also have the same games that are available. So,
mhm,
th- there's there won't be enough to withstand, and we've
mhm,
seen the writing on the wall already you know, for some of
yeah,
these GameStops already. That's what's happening.
yeah,
And as for the mom and pop, I mean, again, look at what happened when CDs became obsolete. HMV was gone.
yeah.
They
See,
don't sell CDs and I'm
yeah,
sure like in those mom and pop type,
yeah,
establishments, they didn't survive.
yeah.
Because who's going out there and buying a CD?
I mean,
But again, that's my another example of we don't like change, but
yeah.
we adapt
So,
because we adapted to streaming
mhm,
music.
mhm. Well, yeah, HMV did close, but Sunshine Records still alive after like over 5 years now. So like it's still around.
Yeah,
There's
because there's still people who will go and buy certain things and stuff like
mhm,
that. So, whatever.
mhm,
But
funny to get the
that's
same
not
guy.
a lot of again, I've
Mhm,
never seen that
mhm,
store ever, which
yeah,
goes to tells me that there's not a lot of locations.
mhm,
Um, and again, with like HMV, there was locations all over the place. There was a location, wasn't there not one in Pickering? Somewhere?
mm.
Was HMV in Pickering?
There's
There
one
was,
in Pickering. Yeah, it's Pickering Mall.
yeah,
They're still open. Yeah.
yeah, there was an HMV in Scarborough Town Center. There was an HMV in Yorkdale.
Mhm,
There was the
mhm,
HMV downtown,
mhm,
in my stopping grounds. There was
mhm,
HMVs everywhere.
mhm,
And then it just obviously didn't become a thing anymore because the things that they catered to was no longer selling.
mhm.
'Cause
See,
we don't need to have physical CDs anymore or
right.
physical DVDs anymore. We can stream everything.
Yeah. But you see, like, vinyls are making a comeback, uh, and people that has increased in sales as well. It's still very popular to this day right now.
I'm
Uh,
not saying it's not, but what I
yeah,
am saying is
I do.
I don't know if it's enough to have, like, multiple upon multiple different
Yeah.
locations in the way we had with HMV. Clearly, it's not. I think at the end of the day, yes, it's somewhat making a comeback, and I think it really blew up at one point, but I still think it's fairly niche in today's
Mhm,
world.
mhm,
And yes, you're going to have things catering to the niche,
mhm,
but it's not going to be
mhm,
multiple different things for that very niche thing, like records or CDs and stuff like that. And again, like I think what really popped off for people was buying record players for those people
mhm.
who already had existing um vinyls
Of their
that was
favorite
already
personal. Yeah.
yeah, that people already had from the '80s and so
Mhm,
forth.
mhm,
Like, my mom has records, my grandpa has records. My grandpa, though, had a record player. It
mhm,
just the needle broke, so
mhm,
you can't play a record without the needle.
mhm,
Um, and that was something I was actually looking into for my mom as well, to buy
mhm,
her, like, a new school record player so she could play some of the records that she had. But again, you know, it
mhm.
didn't happen. And my mom was like, "What are the chances am I even gonna play those records?" My mom actually lost most of her records when we had our flood in the basement years and years back.
Mm.
So, it just wasn't worth it. But that and again, though, that's the thing.
So
Those types of
yeah.
things, like records, are not gonna withstand something like a flood because they didn't. They warped.
Okay. So let me ask you this one question. Do you see a comeback with physical media in the future? Because there is a demand, because PlayStation did do a uh discless version of of PlayStation 5, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro, but they had an attachment as a like a little physical disc, and that sold out, right? Like a separate attachment for physical disc, and people were buying, so that sold out, and there's a high demand for that attachment. So, do you feel like that will lead in the near future, like beyond 2028, where physical
Um,
media will be more and more in demand in the near future? 'Cause
I
I feel
think
the same.
I think history will show that yes, that will happen.
Mhm,
But I think also history has shown that it will become niche. It's not going to be something that everyone is partaking in, that everyone needs to have this. But I do think it can make somewhat of a comeback in the same way that record players did, vinyls. I
mhm,
do think that's possible.
mhm.
But again, like, there's also certain things in history that never made a comeback, like VHS
Yeah,
and VCRs that
that
never
was
really truly
yeah,
made a
'cause
comeback.
yeah,
You know what
because
I mean?
that's been replaced with CDs and DVDs, and it's a
Right,
more high
throughout
definition.
time.
Right,
Right.
more quality, yeah.
But again, but that's what I'm trying to say is like
Yeah,
not everything from the past will make a comeback. Not,
mm,
not entirely, or maybe not to the same extreme that it was when it
mm,
was the only option. We've we've talked about this. Technology advances, and with it means that the change will happen. So w- the reason change happens is because consumers lead that change. So somewhere around the line,
mm,
consumers led the change for Sony to realize that producing physical games is no longer worth it for them.
oh,
That's consumers leading that change.
mhm,
You say, like, they should cater to both sides, but why? Why do they need to cater to both sides when consumers are basically showing them
mhm,
they don't want both sides of the coin? They just want one.
yeah. Well
So,
well,
just like with our phones,
mhm,
it's progressed so much throughout the
right.
years. That's because consumers.
Oh,
Consumers lead the way.
oh, it's
It's
consumers.
gonna be a
Yeah,
change.
yeah,
I don't
well,
disagree with that.
I
Um,
yeah, I'm not
but I
qualified for
think
change.
as a human race,
Yeah,
we don't give ourselves enough credit and the
yeah.
fact that we can adapt. You
Oh,
will adapt. You will be
mhm,
fine. You're not
mhm.
gonna give up playing video games because you can't get a physical
I
gun.
listen,
You'll be fine.
I have not bought I don't buy a lot of digital. I bought digital twice in my life, and that's it.
Mhm.
The only thing I do with digital is rent, and that's it. I
But
know not
again
to buy.
but
I know not to
again,
buy. Go
when's
ahead.
the last time you've touched a physical movie? Like a DVD or like whatever it is.
That's a whole
But
different
it's
yeah.
not. But
Technical
it's not.
yes, it is.
Technically, it's
Yes.
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because again, consumers have shown that they're not going out there and necessarily buying physical movies. Now, mind you, physical movies are still an option,
Mhm.
but it's just not at the same level as it once was.
Mhm.
People are going and buying digital copies of movies. Digital copies of movies was a thing that was creeping in long before COVID.
Mhm.
Um, but now it's like you can you can have access to those digital or the movies or whatever in digital
Mhm. Mhm.
format
Mhm.
everywhere now. Yes, Sony may be making a decision to exclude physical games,
Right.
But that's, as far as I'm concerned, when they're looking at the fact that we have options here of what we can provide people, and the people have spoken. 80%? That's huge. That's a huge number of people who are not going out into
Mhm.
their cars and buying physical copies of games. Because who
You-
truly wants to do that?
I
Right
listen.
there at your fingertips.
I understand the exact, but they're looking at the numbers, they're looking at the metrics, they're looking at saying, but I understand it. They need to just, help them help those guys who like the physical get to that point where they have to, uh, be digital. But for me, if I was a CEO, I wouldn't have made that decision. I wouldn't.
Ooh, I
I
think
know,
you would then
I
be
know it's
fired.
me. I know it's me. I probably would have got fired. Yes, they probably would want me fired. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
They'll push you
Right?
the
They
hell
probably
out.
want to they vote me out
Yeah.
as a as a as a owner. But you know what? I'll probably go on our PR and tell them like they wanted this to happen to you guys. But anyways, I just want to tell the people who are, you know, who are fans of media, physical media, uh, just vote for with your wallets. Just vote with your wallets. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
think people are going to,
that's all.
no one's going to rally in the streets because
Oh no,
they
they're not
can't
gonna.
get physical copies. They're still
There,
gonna
well,
do what they gotta do.
well, there's a huge backlash from. It's not just from the blog. It's not just from, it's a huge backlash. Like people are, celebrities are, like normally you don't hear a huge backlash like this. Like gamers will be like, ah, yeah, okay, okay, this happened. We knew it was gonna happen, so it's about to happen. So it is what it is. But this is a huge backlash. This is obviously a problem for a lot of game a lot of gamers in the gamer community. So yes, I do think a lot of gamers. I'm not saying that probably a lot of gamers will do it for GTA 6 because a lot of gamers are going to purchase GTA 6. But in the future, like such as like purchasing a PS6 in the near future, that's another thing too, right? The high prices for PS6 is going to be, and then not having a physical copy for you're gonna have to buy me on that. You're gonna have to buy. You're gonna. I wasn't already not gonna buy a PS6. No, I'm not going to be buying a PS6 at all, uh, on launch day or probably the second year or the third year of the PS6. So like, I'm keeping my PS5, my physical version of the PS5, and that's it. So, but yeah, like I said, vote with your wallet, and yeah, basically, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let's go to my next topic.
Okay.
Okay. So melatonin,
Mhm.
I think we've talked about it a little bit here, um, is obviously a very popular, potentially over-the-counter sleep supplement that helps regulate your body's internal clock or
Mhm.
circadian rhythm. Melatonin is something that is already naturally in your bodies, but melatonin may affect blood sugar levels by influencing insulin release, especially when taken at certain times, doses, or by people with diabetes or pre-diabetes.
Mhm.
So, can melatonin raise your blood sugar? So, melatonin influences insulin release and sensitivity, potentially leading to changes in blood sugar levels. Insulin is a hormone made by the pancreas in the body. It plays a key role in helping your body use or store blood sugar, glucose.
Mhm.
Insulin sensitivity is a measure of how well your body's cells respond to the release of insulin to absorb blood sugar. In the short term, melatonin may raise blood sugar, particularly in people with glucose intolerance or type 2 diabetes. However, in most healthy adults, these effects are minor and temporary. Some studies also show that long-term use may modestly improve insulin sensitivity and lower average blood sugar levels over time in people with type 2 diabetes. Um, so, how melatonin can influence insulin release? So, melatonin raises blood sugar by reducing the amount of insulin released by the pancreas. It does this by binding two receptors, MT1 and MT2,
Mhm.
on, on the surface of the pancreatic beta cells. This bindings signals the cells to decrease insulin production, which can lead to a temporary increase in blood sugar levels.
Mm.
Insulin levels naturally fluctuate with your circadian rhythm. Insulin release is highest in the morning and decreases towards the evening, a process controlled by internal body clocks in the brain and peripheral tissues such as fat, liver, and muscles. Also, from what I understand, for people who deal with, insulin resistance, as me, um, if you're dealing with insulin resistance,
Mhm.
your insulin levels can stay higher, um, which then means your melatonin doesn't increase for when it's time for bed.
Sun
Hmm?
resistant? Sun?
Melatonin. Like, are you saying so melatonin can be controlled by your circadian rhythm. So that basically is meaning like when the sun rises, your body naturally will wake itself up. When the sun goes down and throughout the day, your circadian rhythm is now telling you, well, the sun's down. Now I'm tired because your melatonin's rising. So all of these hormones in your body are affected by each other at different times of the day. The same thing works with cortisol levels. Insulin can also affect your cortisol levels, your stress hormone. So, those are all things that if one isn't working properly, it's going to affect the other hormones that can hopefully create an atmosphere
Mhm.
for low stress, your cortisol levels being lowered,
Mhm.
and sleep, melatonin being higher.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's something that people like myself deal with. People with PCOS and other
Mhm.
things and similar. Um, that's what happens.
Right.
Um, so which is why they have over-the-counter melatonin,
Mhm.
um, because it's supposed to help with aiding in your melatonin doing what it needs to do. Um, but yeah, I also think melatonin isn't something you should be taking consistently, I think, but we'll keep talking about it and see what happens when we get here.
Mhm.
So yes, melatonin regulates the sleep-wake cycle and has a direct impact on metabolic function. It rises naturally at night to signal the body that it is time to sleep and conserve energy, reducing both insulin release and insulin sensitivity overnight.
Mm.
Together, these effects help ensure your body has the glucose it needs for daily energy, using more during the day when demand is higher and conserving it during fasting periods like sleep. Um, so genetic variation. So genetic differences can affect how your body responds to melatonin. Variations in the MTNR1B gene, which helps form the melatonin receptor, can make some people more sensitive to melatonin. The sensitivity may interfere with fasting glucose levels and raise the risk of type 2 diabetes by affecting how insulin is released.
Mm.
And if the individuals with this genetic variation may experience greater increases in blood sugar when using melatonin regularly. However, others may not respond in the same way. In terms of the time that you would take melatonin,
Mhm.
the time you take your supplement can affect how it impacts blood sugar. Blood sugar levels can increase if you take melatonin supplements too close to a meal. So, particularly a high carb meal, again, because again, it's coinciding with your insulin.
Right.
So, when you're having a higher carb meal, which is all going to turn into sugars, hence glucose means insulin is going to kick in to break
Mhm.
down said glucose. If that's not working properly, you have this buildup of glucose that your body needs to convert into energy.
Right.
And if that process isn't happening properly, in time for when your melatonin is supposed to increase to take that and put it at bay for sleep, do we see the havoc that the body is putting on you when things are not working properly? Do you
Mhm.
see what I deal with on a daily basis? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
this is something that unfortunately PCOS girlies deal with.
Mhm.
Um, and again, people who don't deal with PCOS, again, like if you have insomnia, for example, I wonder how that works for you. I
Mhm.
don't know that because right now we're talking about blood sugars,
Mhm.
but I don't know how that works with insomnia.
Mhm.
Clearly, there's a melatonin issue, but I'm not sure if it's like a glucose issue as well.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, so yeah. It is better to take melatonin at least a few hours after a meal.
Mhm.
It will ensure the release of normal insulin to process blood sugar levels after a meal.
Mhm.
In terms of the dosing, so in healthy adults, taking high doses of melatonin can decrease glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity. However, the effects are more complex in individuals with type 2 diabetes. So, a clinical trial in people with type 2 diabetes recommended a dose of 10 milligrams of melatonin for conditions where the benefits outweigh the potential negative impact on insulin sensitivity. So, that is melatonin. Melatonin, again, is something that I've read up on. That is something, because I think melatonin is considered an antioxidant, if I'm correct. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure there's something that I remember reading, and it starts with the egg as well, that it was recommended for people who are trying to conceive. But for me, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that, which is why I'm pretty sure it is considered an antioxidant, and there are other ways you can get antioxidant than taking melatonin if you don't feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Um, but again, I think melatonin isn't just for sleep. It's meant to regulate your body
Mhm.
and do what it needs to do. So, yeah. So that's that topic.
Okay.
Um,
I have
you have another one?
one short one.
Okay.
Um, so you heard about verses, right?
About what?
Verses.
Versus?
Verses. You ever heard of it?
No,
Okay.
maybe.
So it's like when an artist, you know, basically goes catalog to catalog
Oh,
with their
okay. Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
heard of it. You heard of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't I'm surprised you haven't heard of this one, right? So B2K versus Pretty Ricky did one.
Oh,
Yes.
what?
Yeah. Did
How
it.
does that work? You have, like, B2K being like,
Yep.
"Baby, turn around, let me see that sexy body, bop, 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 bop," and then
Yeah.
you have Pretty
Yep.
Ricky
They
being like, "Grind on me,"
yep. They did.
and we're just going
Yep.
back and forth
Yep. They did one.
on the high.
Um
They did one?
yeah,
It
you can
happened?
yeah, you can watch it right now on YouTube. Um
I think I know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing after this.
Yeah. No, no. Oh, if like later on when you have the time to do it.
I said
But
after.
yeah, after? Oh, really?
After this.
Okay.
My only my only thing, and I'm sorry, I don't wanna go, "Oh, I don't wanna be that person," but I am gonna be that
Mhm,
person.
mhm.
Didn't P. Diddy start B2K? Does he still have any
I think
rights
no,
to
he doesn't have any
anything?
rights to no, 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 he doesn't have rights to
Okay,
this.
that's all I
No, no,
asked.
he's not in this, he's not in it's
Perfect.
just
Well,
Omarion
no,
with
he's
the
in
yeah,
prison. So,
yeah, yeah, it's just yeah, yeah, it's just
I
Marion doing his
mean
thing and then the pre-rookie, yeah. But,
I
yeah,
mean, listen,
they s
what
well,
side are you on? Because listen, I loved B2K too. I love me some Omarion. But I
they said
definitely am a pretty Ricky girl.
see see, I'm not too much a fan of both of them, but they
Okay.
said that, Pretty Ricky did belt to ass on B2K. Not a
I
lot of
mean,
yeah, because like
Pretty
they said like
Ricky, not
yeah,
only do they have the singers, well, B2K also had rappers too, right?
mhm.
Do you remember that correctly? I can't remember. It's been
uh,
so long since I've
I think while I was watching it, I think Pretty Ricky has more rappers than
technically, yes, they have 2.
yes, yeah,
No, sorry,
than,
3. 3. They
B2K has
had
singers.
they had, the really cute
Yeah,
light-skinned guy, Spectacular, and then they had I can't remember the other guy's name,
yeah,
the other 2 guys, but,
yeah.
like, they have the guy with the dreads, and then they have the other one.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
and yeah, they have 3. Really, the only one that actually did most of the singing was I think his name Pleasure P. He's
mhm,
the only one that really did the singing.
mhm.
So there's 5 of them, so there must have been 4 rappers. So yeah, or was it 4? 4 and then 3,
I
whatever.
think there was 5, I don't know, 4
I
or
think
5 of them, I wasn't
I
counting, but there
I
were
think it
some of
might
them
be
were
4.
rapping.
I think it
Yes.
might be 4, and then
Yeah.
yeah, it's 4. And so then, yeah, 4, 1 singer, 3 rappers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think there's more 'cause, like, Omari doesn't rap,
Yeah.
and I don't remember the other people, and there's only, like, 3 of them in
Mhm,
B2K, if
mhm.
I'm correct,
Yeah,
and
are
I
they
think there's
all
only 1
singers?
rapper. I feel like there's one that's a rapper too, but you know
Mhm,
what? Because I'm
mhm,
thinking of, like, the song I was just saying, "Baby,
mhm.
turn around." Okay,
So
yeah, and
yeah.
I'm confusing the fact I think they actually are all singers. I think I'm confusing the
Mhm.
fact because P. Diddy has a rap in the song.
Oh, okay, right.
That's why I'm getting
Yeah,
confused.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, P. Diddy has a rap in the song.
So, is it true that Pretty Ricky are more more grown music, and then
Oh,
P
hell
B2
yeah, they are.
B2K are more like high
Yeah,
school, middle school type of music?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
uh
that's why
Pretty
people are
Ricky was for
favoring.
grown folk, that's for sure. Pretty Ricky listen, when I started listening to Pretty Ricky, I was, what, 13, 14. I
Mm,
had no business,
mm,
okay? No business
yeah,
listening to them at that age.
yeah,
Now as a grown-ass adult, it's like, damn.
mhm, yeah, yep,
That's all I'm saying. Let's just say
mhm,
they could be on a particular Spotify playlist,
yeah,
if you catch what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So B2K wasn't so much that. Pretty Ricky literally is the sex. It's sex.
yeah.
That's mainly what they talk about.
That's what I've heard most of their
They
lyrics.
literally will have a clean version of their songs that would play
Mhm,
on the radio,
mhm,
and then they would have their dirty version that was,
mhm,
like, whatever. So,
mhm,
like, for example, their breakout song
mhm,
was the clean version was called "Grind With Me."
mhm.
The actual name of the song is "Grind On Me."
Oh,
Take that
okay,
as you will.
okay, alright,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay,
But
alright, yeah,
at the end of the day,
yeah,
though, like I said, I'm a pretty Ricky kind of girl.
oh,
Don't
okay,
know what that says about me, but that is
okay,
none of y'all business.
oh, okay. Yeah, they had one, and yeah, the girls that I watched on YouTube or rewatched, they did like recap, or some YouTube channels did like recaps, rewatches, and
Yeah.
etc. Just basically, said that like Pretty Ricky won this. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
Pretty Ricky had
yeah.
more hits that people remembered
Mhm,
versus B2K.
mhm,
When I think B2K,
mhm,
I think the one song. When I think Pretty Ricky,
mhm,
I can name you 5 songs off the top of my head right now that were
mhm,
hits.
mhm,
"Grind on Me,"
mhm,
"Hot on the Hotline,"
mhm,
"Age Ain't Nothing But a Number." Like,
mhm,
I could go on.
mhm.
"Honey." Like, they had more hits
Mhm,
that people knew
mhm,
than I feel B2K does.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
B2K was maybe more age appropriate for me
Mhm,
versus Pretty Ricky,
mhm.
but again, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
I
seen
have
those things.
memories surrounding
Mm,
Pretty Ricky
yeah,
with friends
yeah.
versus B2K.
Mm,
Like, I'll block her name out, but
Yeah.
me and would
Mhm.
constantly sing on the hotline, constantly,
Mhm.
because it was, like, the biggest hit when we were in
Yeah.
grade 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Pretty Ricky, I can tell you right now without even
Yeah. Yeah.
listening to it, Pretty Ricky's the winner. And again,
Yeah.
I love Omarion, but I
Mhm.
loved Omarion as a solo artist more so than when he
Yeah.
was in
He
B2K.
he actually did one. He actually did one versus by himself, a solo one. I don't remember which one. I think it was either versus. I might have this wrong. Tank. It might be with Tank versus
I
Tank. I
don't know
can't
who that
remember.
is. It sounds
You know,
familiar.
yeah.
You know
But
who I wanna see do a versus?
oh
Now this might be some it might, again, say more about me, but
yeah,
I wanna see Omarion versus Marcus Houston, because 'cause them brothers. I wanna see who wins that
yeah,
because, like, they were both big at the same time, they're brothers.
yeah,
I feel like,
yeah.
you know? I can't
Mhm.
say what was the other brother's name? Like, his full brother, Orion or something like that? We can't say him. He barely had a career outside of but I think he was in B2K too. He didn't have a career much outside of that.
Mhm.
But Marcus Houston on Omarion, yo, let's have it happen.
Yeah.
And then I wanna see Marcus Houston go against Mario. This come on.
Mario,
I'm
I think Mario did
I'm
one.
literally giving you guys everything.
I think Mario did one already. I
I
think he
wanna see I want and we gotta get some Usher in there. Listen, I'm giving you everything.
Usher.
I can even
I
see
don't.
Chris
I
Brown.
see.
I wanna see Chris Brown go against Usher.
See a
You
lot
were
of the
talking
big.
about their freaking thing. I wanna
Yeah.
see them do a versus. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of these big artists think they're too big for this. Like I seen like Ludacris versus not is it Ludacris? Or what sorry, Nelly versus Fat Joe. I saw that one.
Oh, who won? Who won?
I don't know who won, but
I
it
can
was
tell
just
you
like
who won. Nelly. Because when I think Fat Joe, again, I'm only thinking one song. Say it with me, everybody.
yeah.
Lean back.
Was it- Hold
Lean
on.
back.
Hold on, wait, was it hold on, was it Fat Joe or Ja Rule? Hold on, let
Oh,
me just
now we're
check.
talking.
Was it Fat
If
Joe?
you're telling me
Hold on. Was it Fat Joe or Ja Rule? Was it
so
I
you're telling
don't
me Ja Rule versus Nelly? Yo, that would be so good though if it was Ja Rule versus Nelly. Literally.
It was Fat Joe versus Ja Rule.
Fat
That was the
Joe
first.
versus Ja Rule.
Yes, it was
Oh,
Fat
Ja
Joe.
Rule's winning. What do you mean? Ja
Hmm?
Rule's winning. I
Yeah.
can tell you this on
Yeah,
watching. Ja
yeah,
Rule's
yeah,
winning.
yeah.
Not Ja Rule
This was
now.
like after the pandemic. Like it was like
Not not not
2021.
not not Ja Rule today, but
Hmm.
Ja Rule 20 years ago? Oh,
Hmm.
please. You
And then
bring back Ja Rule from
yeah,
20 years ago and go against
yeah.
Joe?
And then Nelly came out. I remember now. Nelly came out that day. This is where Ashanti and Nelly rekindled the relationship again. So
I
basically,
see. Yeah, because she
yeah,
was close with Ja Rule.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's what. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of big artists that I want to see in verses, but some of them are just like they feel like they're too big to be in verses, or they're not. You know, they don't think it's.
Talk about Luda. I would love to see Luda do.
I think Ludacris did one.
Against who?
Let me see. Um, I'm trying to look right now. It's versus. Oh, he did one with Nelly.
He did with Nelly too.
He did one with you know, he did one with Nelly. He did one with
He
Nelly already did one. He just
Nelly won.
Nelly didn't win. I'm not sure who won that one.
Okay.
Alright?
I
I'm
mean,
just saying he just did one. Nelly did
it's a
one, Ludacris did
toss-up.
one. Yeah.
It's a toss-up of
Yeah.
who would win, Luda or Nelly.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
got it.
toss-up.
Fan
They're
votes.
both
So,
great.
like yeah, so, yeah, let me see. I'm
I'm still wondering why anyone would think Ja Rule with Fat Joe was a good idea.
uh,
I'm still trying to understand that, but whatever.
because
Because what?
because they I think they're both close.
Okay. Yeah, but
That's why
again, naming one other song that Fat Joe did besides Lean Back. That was actually big. that everyone knew.
He still has some good
I'm talking
songs.
about hits. I know he's still in the game. I'm
Yeah.
talking about hits.
He
Joe
still
hasn't
has some.
had a hit
So
since then.
the number of ones that have been done in the past is Deluxe versus Dipset. Oh, here's another one that you probably must watch. Brandy versus Moronica. Uh,
Yeah, I saw that one.
you saw that one? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Snoop
Oh
Dogg
yeah.
versus DMX has happened.
Listen, DMX and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, yeah. Before
Just
he,
because DMX is dead, I'm gonna say he
yeah,
won.
before he died. This is
Yeah,
like
before he died.
before he
But
died.
come on,
Yeah, Babyface.
DMX
Yeah,
versus Snoop. I mean,
yeah,
listen,
mhm,
both great, but DMX, there's something about DMX.
yeah.
And when you start playing any of his songs,
Mm-hmm.
you get angry alongside him, but it feels so good.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have
Y'all gonna make me
Babyface.
lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me. Okay.
You have Babyface versus Teddy Riley.
Babyface.
Yeah, and then you have.
Babyface versus anybody isn't gonna win. It's always gonna be Babyface. If I don't say Babyface, my mom
Mhm.
will disown me.
Yeah,
So,
and then Gucci Man versus Young Jeezy. I think there's been more in the
ooh, oh,
past.
I don't think I wasn't really into Gucci Man, but obviously I know who Young Jeezy is.
Let's see. Battles in the past. Da-da-da. I think it's been more. Well, the first one was Swiss Beats versus Timbaland.
Oof.
Boy, Boy
Oof.
Wonder.
What the hell?
Yeah, Boy Wonder versus Hit Boy. The Dream versus Sean Garrett. Don't know who that is.
Who's
Um,
that?
the
I
Dream.
know who the Dream is, but like
Sean Garrett. I don't know who Sean Garrett is.
again, the Dream has like actually one hit song.
Yeah,
I know of two of his songs
yeah.
because he has a song in 50 Shades.
Mhm.
That's it. And
Uh,
honestly, the sound of his voice bothers the hell out of me.
mm,
Can I be honest? Sorry. The Dream ain't
yeah,
no dream in his voice. I'm sorry.
yeah.
But anyways,
And then you had Neo versus Jonathan Austin.
don't know who that is, but I sure as hell know who Neo is.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say he won.
yeah. Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh.
Don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know.
those are two producers.
Okay.
Uh, one is one made production for 50 and Fat Joe, and the other made production for was also in features and production with Lil Wayne.
Mm.
But yeah, Ryan Tedder versus Benny Blanco.
Betty Blanco, yeah.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez's husband.
Oh, okay. And then here's another one that is probably a dream matchup for a few people: T Pain versus Little John. Yeah.
The battle of the
Autotune is
the
autotune.
auto-tune, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Who would win that though? Can we all agree that the only correct answer to this
and I
question
think it's T
is
Pain.
Lil Jon?
Really? T
100%. You saying T-Pain?
Pain has more hits.
I'm in love. Are you insane? Are you
I
insane?
think he has three hits.
Are
He had once with LMFAO, and then he had like a couple hits with himself.
okay, 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 okay. I'm not saying that T-Pain doesn't have hits. I'm not saying that I don't jam to T-Pain too, but I'm sorry. Little John isn't gonna win. We're gonna have to disagree. Are you crazy?
Mhm.
Little John is Little John. He's
Yeah.
not only I
Yeah.
in the front of stuff, he is a
Mhm.
producer. He most likely he did produce T-Pain's music too. Are
Mhm.
you insane? Mm-mm, you're wrong. Lil Jon's winning.
Yeah. Uh, okay. RZA versus DJ Premier.
Who?
Only RZA. So if you
Oh,
guys don't know
okay,
who
yeah, yeah.
Wu Tang, he's part of that. RZA is part of Wu Tang, and then DJ Premier is like a producer
Sure.
who did a lot of beats for like Jay Z's, the Nas's, the 50s back in the day. But yeah. Um, Teddy. Oh yeah, we're ready to talk about Erica Badu versus Jill Scott.
Oh,
Has happened already.
okay.
So like,
First of all, I Jill Scott isn't for me.
mhm,
I loved her in Why'd I Get Married.
mhm,
She ain't for me.
mhm,
Now, Erica Badu,
mhm,
you better go ahead and call Tyrone. Colin.
mhm,
Oof. Erica Badu.
mhm,
I'm sorry. Erica Badu is untouchable.
mhm.
That girl won. Now, I'm not saying that Jill Scott couldn't win,
Yeah,
though. Jill
yeah,
Scott is a
yeah,
powerhouse.
yeah, yeah.
But Erica Badu has like this soft
Mhm,
strongness to her voice. Mm-mm, no, Erica. Always Erica Badu.
yeah. Okay. There is the Nelly versus Ludacris,
Yeah.
and then there's Bounty Killer versus Beanie Man.
Now, Mountain Killer, I haven't heard him in a minute, but Beanie Man,
Yeah, yeah,
just off of merit, just
yeah.
because he is who he is, just because he has come out with hits from the 90s.
Mm,
I'm sorry, I don't know who the hell this other person is. I know
mhm,
who he is, but I don't know his music like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm always gonna pick Beanie Man. There's just
yeah,
no way.
yeah,
Are you serious? Sim
yeah.
Sim, who brought the keys to my bima? Who am I? No, no.
Mm,
Mm-mm. Tell
okay.
me what you want. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop.
So 112 versus Jagged Edge. I don't know who
Who the
Jagged.
hell is Jack Edge? But 112? Where have they been?
Yeah, they did one. This is
You did. You know they came out with Peaches and
RC.
Cream, and
Yeah,
that's
see.
gonna kill the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come on.
You
I
don't know
listen to
who
112 all the time.
you don't know who Edge is? Uh,
They sounds familiar, but
Jagged
no, name sounds familiar, but
Edge.
once 112 is a part of my everything. I listen to 112 all the time.
Yeah.
I've been listening to them since I was a kid.
Mhm,
Nah, it's always gonna be 112 for me because like I ride or die for them.
mhm. Kurt Franklin versus Fred.
Kirk Franklin?
Hammond. Yeah,
Oh, I love me some Kirk Franklin, I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
Alicia Keys versus
Ugh,
John Legend.
whoever it is gonna win. When you say Alicia Keys and who?
John Legend.
Oh,
That's a nice fact. Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but
yeah,
I've been listening to Alicia Keys's voice
yeah, yeah,
over the
yeah.
last little bit. My girl's pitchy
Mhm,
as
mhm.
fuck,
And then
and then you're pairing her with John Legend?
mhm,
That's massacre. That's a massacre. All he
uh,
has to do is start playing the piano, it's done. I
yep,
mean, so she can she, but you see what I mean?
yeah. They both can play piano.
No, they both
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
but one
yeah,
writes his own music versus the other one does not.
yeah, yeah,
You
no,
you tell me who's who.
yeah.
I know who's who, but anyways,
Fabulous versus Jadakiss.
Jadakiss versus who again?
Fabulous. This is for the hip hop fans. Fabulous
And
versus
oh,
Jadakiss.
Fabulous. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Fabulous.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the DMX for Snoop Dogg, and then there was another one, Rick Ross versus Two Chains. That was one too. Uh,
Can they
uh,
both lose? Can they both lose?
yeah,
You know I hate Rick Ross
yeah,
and I hate Two Chains.
yeah.
That is see, the universe understands that they're the worst fucking rappers out of all of those people we've
Yeah,
just mentioned,
yeah.
and they put them together. The battle of the worst. Sorry if it pissed people off, but I'm
Uh,
sorry. Everyone's
others might.
hustling. Shut the fuck up.
uh, hey, others might disagree with you. So
That's fine, but he can hustle somewhere else, okay?
yeah. So
Every time I'd hear that, "Oh,
yeah,
are
yeah.
you hustling? Shut the fuck up."
And then we have Brandy versus. We talked about this already.
Monica,
Yeah,
I
Brandy
definitely I
versus
know. When
Monica.
That when that news dropped that they were doing
Yeah.
verses,
Yeah.
oh, please. Are you kidding? The only reason I was like, "I need to hear you find out we need to find out, is the boy hers or is the boy hers? We need to figure this out after 30 years of
Yeah.
who's who."
Okay. Gladys Knight versus
Gladys Knight.
Patty LaBelle.
Excuse?
Yeah.
Battle of the Divas.
That
Gladys Knight
that
and Patti LaBelle.
yeah. Okay. So season two.
I plead the fifth. I don't know who would win that one.
Okay. Season two. We just talked about Gucci Man versus Gucci Man. E40 versus Too Short.
Oh god, those are names I haven't heard in forever.
Yeah. Eh,
Okay.
Legends. Ashanti versus Keisha Cole happened.
Oh, Ashanti's winning. Keisha
Yeah.
Cole can't sing for shit.
Hmm.
Ashanti's winning. Next.
So, who did D'Angelo faced? D'Angelo
D'Angelo.
and Friends. That's it.
D'Angelo and who?
And Friends. That's it. No, nothing
D'Angelo and
else happened.
Friends. Okay.
Yeah, nothing else. Well, he didn't face anybody.
Like D'Angelo. Well, he's D'Angelo. Have you
Yeah,
seen
D'Angelo
him
and
in Spotty?
Friends. I don't
May he
know.
rest in peace.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
no.
Yeah.
No one could no D'Angelo had a voice of an
Hmm.
angel,
Hmm.
body
Yeah.
of a god.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Raekwon versus Ghostface. So that's Wu Tang. Wu
Okay.
Tang. Yeah, Wu Tang. So it's hip hop music. So you might know this: Earth, Wind, and Fire
Uh-huh.
versus the Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers.
Yes.
Damn, again, just
Yeah.
classic people. I plead the fifth. I can't decide who's gonna win either of those.
Another Wu Tang battle: Red Man versus Method Man.
Okay.
All right. So
I don't know much about Red Man's
yeah.
stuff,
So
but
don't know what this is. SVW versus Escape.
are you fucking for real?
I don't know.
You don't know who any of them are?
Yeah. Nah.
I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak.
Oh,
I
okay.
lose all control.
Okay.
If something takes a hold on me. You need to,
Yeah.
again, don't know who would win. So
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
I just don't remember who made those songs. So
Ugh.
yeah. So the rematch of Swiss Beats versus Timbaland.
Yeah,
And then that happened. Eve versus Trina. Yeah, Trina. There we go.
Trina. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
Uh,
not really a huge fan of Trina,
mhm,
but I love Eve.
yeah. Bow Wow versus Soldier Boy.
Sorry, who and
Bow Wow versus Soldier Boy. You didn't.
Soldier Boy up in
Yeah.
watch me
Yeah.
break the balance. Oh,
Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
Superman. And what are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
literally doing the dance right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Sweats versus Bobby Brown.
Oh, sorry. Did you say what I think you just said?
Sorry, not Kevin Sweats. I read that wrong. Keith Sweats.
Keith Sweat.
Sorry.
Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown?
Yes.
Don't know who would win that one either.
Yeah.
You get Bobby Brown started. Come on. It's mad
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
What?
The last couple we already talked about. All right. So KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane.
Sure.
Yeah, this old hip hop heads. That
Uh-huh.
was Chaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. What the hell did you just say?
Is it Chaka?
Shaka Khan.
Is it
Have
Chaka
some
Khan?
respect on her name.
I thought it
Shaka
was
Khan.
okay.
Mm-mm. Shaka Khan. Say that
Ste-
again.
Chaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Versus Stephanie Miles or Mills.
Mills. I don't know
Mills.
who that is, but I
Yeah.
sure as hell know who Shaka Khan is.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Bones, Thugs, and Harmony versus 3 6
Stop.
Mafia.
What?
Yeah.
Bone Thugs
That's
and Harmony?
that's what happened.
Wasn't Bone Thugs and Harmony was the one who what's the group that did the the foot oh, what was that? Wasn't there a song about footprints and this some shit? Who did that one? Was it Bone Thugs and Harmony? Am I crazy? I'm crazy. I might be
Yeah.
living in a freaking
Yeah.
Mandela effect right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Um,
I'm not too much a fan of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, but,
Thugs and
uh,
I love Bone
I
Thugs-n-Harmony, not gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah,
They
yeah,
had some I feel
yeah.
that yeah, that one sounds familiar.
So so
Oh,
I might be
Crossroads. Yeah, okay, okay.
I might be saying this wrong, but A Anthony Hamilton versus Music Soul Child?
Anthony Hamilton sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Music Soul Child. Do you know who that is?
No,
Musiq?
no.
Okay. Alright, next one, Mary Mary versus BB and CC.
Mhm, mhm.
When Nels? Ants? When ants? Ah, alright. Uh, Cy oh my god, I might be saying this wrong too. Cypress Hills versus Onyx.
Mm.
That's a hip hop thing. Uh, 8 Ball and MJG versus UGK. Okay,
Mm-mm.
and that's another hip hop thing. Um, Amarion versus Mario. That happened.
I don't know who would win that one either.
Yeah. And then there's Looney Tunes versus DJ Nelson. So that was season 2. Let me see season 3. No. Oh yeah, season 3. Okay. All right. So Cash Money Records versus No Limit Records. That happened. Hit Boy got another one versus Mike Will Made It. Uh Tank versus Tyrese for the ladies. Tyrese.
Mhm. You had me at Tyrese. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
And then Rick Ross had another run with
Okay, please shut the fuck up about Rick Ross.
French Montana.
Who?
And then French Montana.
I'm just gonna say Fresh Montana gonna win because it ain't gonna be Rick Ross.
And then
Not gonna be.
yeah, obviously the last one's B2K versus Pretty Ricky. So yeah.
I'm gonna be watching that one for sure.
So yeah, yeah.
I think I
That's
also need to be
basically
watching some Shaka Khan and some Patti LaBelle and
yeah,
Gladys Knight and
yeah.
Earth, Wind and Fire and the Isley Brothers. Listen,
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
that's basically it. So yeah, that's yeah, versus had some pretty good ones. It's just so like some of the artists that I want are never gonna do one. So
Like
so
50? Is it too big
yeah,
for 50?
50 said he's never gonna do one. He won't do one.
Okay, well,
Eminem
that
said
was
he's not
boring.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Mm,
Eminem said he's not doing one.
yeah, probably
Um
not.
yeah,
Although, yeah, I mean, technically, Eminem kind of already does verses, just not on verses. Like, he will come for you if you come for him. A little
yes, if
dirtier,
you
because obviously
like
yours
it
is meant to be
if you
fun,
yeah, if
but
yeah. It's like it's
everybody
meant
else
to I see a lot of artists look at it like it would destroy your career, but it's not like that. It's to celebrate your music and your catalog with
yeah,
another
fans will love
artist.
it.
Like Gucci Man and Jeezy had beef with each other. They, you know, they came together, shook hands, and basically had fun, and just did it for music. But a lot of artists, is a lot of fans see it like it will destroy your career. It will just give you bad reputation. I'm like I don't see it like that at all. So yeah, yeah. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, you can wish that some of your favorite artists were to be there. I know probably some of your favorite artists are already on those
Yeah,
verses, but I guess you want more variety.
I
With
mean, yeah.
Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. I don't think they can afford that, but like that'll
Oh,
bring them some money.
no, well, but I'm an NSYNC girly through and through,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's always gonna be NSYNC for me
yeah, yeah,
because yeah, I'm
yeah.
always an NSYNC girl.
Yeah, well, if they were to go to that route, but we'll see what they'll happen.
I want
Next,
98 Degrees to go against somebody. That'd be kinda cool, you know?
Is it
Yeah.
how many of them are left though? There's like
Of
3 there were 3 of them?
90
What they're
degrees,
saying right. Yeah,
there's always been 3.
3? What
Yeah, Nick Lachey, Drew Lachey, and then the other one.
mm,
I don't remember the other one's name. Nick Lachey, I can take or leave him. I am stuck watching him when I watch Love Is Blind.
right, right,
But Drew Lachey he has my heart. I
right,
absolutely love
right,
him, you
right,
know?
right.
But,
Yeah,
yeah, anyways,
that's it.
that'll be
That's
fun. But anyways, um, we'll just kinda do mine very quickly to end this off. We won't do
yeah.
my bonus because we're
Yep, yep,
running
pretty
late
much, yeah.
here, but
Yep.
just as a quick update, there is a 50 cabin community for the unhoused that
Mhm.
could be built in either Ajax, Pickering, Whitby, Oshawa, or in Clarington by the end of this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So a 50 cabin community for the unhoused could be coming to the community by the end of
Mhm,
2026. Durham Region Council showed an overwhelming openness to the idea, voting 28-0 at a January 14th committee of the whole meeting to proceed with a report for a pilot project.
mhm.
Should that report be approved when it comes back to council, you could see a community built and opened by the fall of this year. So I'm going to say it's happening. And I think that's what's being built currently in Ajax at the corner of Harwood and Achilles.
That's good.
I think that's what that is.
I
But,
know. That's cool.
um, and I believe it is, I think it is planning to be open sometime in the fall.
Mhm,
Mind you, I don't think they've broken ground there,
mhm,
but, um, because there was a tent community there,
mhm.
they kicked everyone out of the tent community. This was a few months back.
Right.
And they are supposed to be building, and I think that's what this is.
Mhm,
But again, like I said, it doesn't appear like they've broken ground though,
mhm,
and we are in July, so
mhm.
I don't know.
Okay. Alright.
But
Probably another update in the near future on that?
yeah, I mean,
Talking
I
to that.
will report if they break ground
Yep.
because
Okay.
I pass it every day for the most part. But
Alright.
yeah,
Okay.
but that's
Alright.
it.
That's it?
Yeah,
Alright. So, when's the next episode? When are we gonna
we should be back on Thursday. Yeah,
alright.
yeah.
Okay. Peace, guys.
Bye. If you liked what you heard with our podcast, you can head on over to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. There you can get any of the links to any of our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod. You can also find links to our Reddit page and many other things, I'm sure. Can't remember all off the top of my head. You can also email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. There you can send us any inquiries you have, any questions, or also any episode ideas. And if you do have episode ideas, just make sure you put in the subject line episode ideas, and we'll add it to our list. If you also liked us, you can like us, rate us, follow us on any of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate us, however, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And we'll also move forward and share or spot a light on those who give us 5-star ratings in the future. That is it for us. We'll see you next time for the episode.